Oh, okay. That's what I think happened. I think that it literally just stopped the stream because I hit 0 on the numpad, which was assigned to stop streaming in order to zero out these things. So it should be back. Should be okay now, hopefully. But since it didn't notify me that the stream had dropped, I think that that's probably what it was. I probably just hit the button and stopped the stream. Anyway, I had assigned it to num0 to stop streaming, and then I changed that yesterday, but it's... Oh, okay. I changed it on my YouTube streaming profile, not on my Twitch streaming profile. Okay. Anyway. So this new panel mechanic, I've basically got two different symbols. One is these X's. The X's want to be by themselves. The other is these dots, and these dots want to be with another dot. Which is basically the same as a mechanic in the witness, so I don't know that I like that, but it's also not a terrible idea, so I think it's 60, yeah. So those want to be with another dot. So if I, for example, put like 4 dots, then I need to put this with one other and this with another, because it only wants to be with one other one. The other kind of interesting thing is that it actually doesn't care. It doesn't have to be another dot. It can be with any symbol. So that's kind of interesting, but I'm trying to find... I'm basically trying to find other mechanics, because, like, right now... The main one that I have, as far as like symbols on tiles, is these kind of dice face things, and a dice face just basically wants to be part of an area that's the size of whatever the number is. And for a bit, I tried these things, which want to have the amount of, like, it's kind of hard to see the blue ones probably on the stream, but there's like blue and then yellow. So the amount of blue ones determines how many neighbors it wants that are not the same as it, and the amount of yellow ones are how many neighbors it wants are the same as it. So this one wants like one neighbor that's the same as it, right? It doesn't care what neighbor it is, it just wants one that's the same as it. And so I was thinking, well, I could design some puzzles for an area that did that, but the problem is I don't find this mechanic to be that deep or interesting. It interacts well with the dice faces, which is cool, because then it's like, you know, you can make all kinds of panels that utilize both of those in certain ways that are like interesting, right? So anyway, you can do interesting things with those. I don't know if you've played The Witness at all, but it's kind of like The Witness in the sense that you just sort of come up to it and it's generally inscrutable and doesn't explain itself, and you just kind of, by going through some simple puzzles, figure out what it is and how it works. Like, it's that type of puzzles. So for these ones, like, that's how that would be, is you would have like these kind of puzzles in order, and you would go through and sort of try to deduce. But I feel like they're so I don't know. Like, maybe that's interesting, but I don't know if it is. Because I feel like it's kind of inscrutable. I feel like it's too easy to make panels that are very, very easy to solve. Certainly if they're small panels. So I just kind of don't like the mechanic that much for that reason. Because it's very hard to like build up to it in a way. Yeah, I don't know. So I was trying some other things, and one of the things I thought I would try was symbols that want to be with a certain amount of other symbols, which was where I got the dot from, right? But originally I did like I did like 5 symbols or something, like one that wanted to be with one other thing, one that wanted to be with 2 others, and it seemed like the most interesting ones were ones that didn't want to be with anything and ones that wanted to be with one other one. So when you mark a tile next to it, it flips the state of the opposite tile. If you mean like a tile that I click that and then the other one also flips, and so I can't like flip one without flipping the other, I did think about that. But then that becomes more of like a constraint on how you solve a particular puzzle than it becomes trying to like puzzle out what something means. Although I don't think it's terrible. Like I kind of have a whole set of puzzles that are sort of like that, but the point is that you discover the constraint. So rather than, like, if I was going to do that, I would rather have it, rather than it being you click one and the other one needs to be like, the other one's forced to be flipped, I would rather it be like whatever one this is, its pair needs to be the opposite type thing, rather than it like you have to figure out that it needs to be the opposite, rather than it enforces that it's the opposite. Like I do have this type of puzzle right now, which enforces a way of solving, right? And I thought about trying lots of different things like that, but it really seemed like this, like the main ones were this one and this one. Like the main ones were you can toggle whatever you want and you can only do this. Like it has to be something that you could draw a line. I still got some problem here where it doesn't unset the snake panel thing. It's probably in the puzzle panel editor. I think about it. Let's see, because I got an enum here. Well, I don't remember where I'm checking if it's his snake panel. I guess I'm checking it here. Toggle. But for some reason his snake panel is getting set somewhere. It's sure not in this file. Oh, I guess it's not like that. It's his snake panel. Well, I'm setting it to be false there by default. But then here I'm saying if it's a snake panel, then we set it to true. I guess I need to set it back to false here. It's just the reason that that's happening. Floor tile puzzles for Link's Awakening. I unfortunately don't remember that, although I've been playing through Link's Awakening again a little bit, so it might be worth looking at that. But, might be worth looking at those again. But anyway, yeah, so there's these, like I said, there's two main interaction types that I have. One are these panels that you walk around on, and you have to solve that way, and the other ones are these panels where you just have a cursor and you can just toggle them however you want. And some puzzles work better for some types of interactions than others. Anyway, I'm supposed to be trying out puzzles. I feel like there's not very many like basic puzzles that are that interesting with the dots. I feel like that's not that interesting because there's just too many solutions that work. That's probably better because it requires that you realize that you can draw it through there. Yeah, I don't really remember the puzzles in question, unfortunately. It's been a while since I've played through the whole game. It's part of why I thought it might be interesting to do so. I wish there was some better way for me to like keep the values and just edit while I'm playing the game. But the fact that I can edit it all while I'm playing the game is something that I just added recently, so. But it would be nice to be able to edit them and all that. So I don't know, like, it feels like it just feels like this is a better mechanic, but also, like I said, I feel kind of weird about it just because it's like basically the same mechanic as in The Witness, and I feel like I mean, it's okay because part of me trying this was like just eschewing my natural tendency to feel like, well, I don't want to do that because The Witness did that. And I'm already making a game that's painfully similar to that game. But, it's maybe okay. But I kind of like... Yeah, I kind of like having, like, something that on its own is interesting. these, I can kind of make basic panels that are a little interesting. I don't know that Jonathan Blow hates Unity. He's never used Unity. I mean, I think that his qualms about making games using a tool like Unity are similar to my own qualms about it. But my qualms, I guess, my qualms with Unity have to do more with Unity is a thing where I sacrifice a lot of productivity on the back end and control on the back end for a lot of quick progress on the front end. Like, it's very easy for me to get a lot done at the beginning of a project using Unity, but at the end, there's things that I just won't be able to fix. As far as different tile types and shapes, I would like to try those things, but I don't think that really that's the issue when I'm talking about something too similar to The Witness. I'm talking about the fact that this is a mechanic that, like, wants specifically to be, like, two connected, right, things. Maybe it isn't that similar, but so this one, I guess I have to, like, I'd have to lock it like this to where you can't toggle these ones. Feels too prescriptive, though. I feel like if I do that, then I can do this. So it's got to be locked, like, this has got to be locked off. Because then you have to do, like, oh shit, I don't even know if you can solve that if you lock it off. It's really more got to be that that's locked on and that's locked off, because then you can solve it that way. Well, I'm glad if it feels different enough, because I'm thinking of, like, the treetop puzzles in The Witness, and it's like those are about, like, grouping two things, right? I guess what I'll say is, initially my thinking about what types of mechanics to consider was boxed in by, well, it can't just be something that The Witness did. And because I started to feel like maybe that was boxing me in too much, I thought maybe it's okay if mechanically what the symbol is caring about is similar, because the interaction method is different in this game, because I'm, like, not drawing lines around these guys in order to separate them into groups. It's about highlights, you know? But I think already it's pretty clear that this particular mechanic is more interesting than the neighboring tiles one. Okay. let me look at that. Oh yeah. Spoilers, jeez. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, I guess. It's still, yeah. I actually do have some puzzles in the game, spoilers for my own game, I guess, that are similar to that, which is like these guys. These are puzzles that when you solve the puzzle, let's see. Like right now it's a wall, and when you solve the puzzle, the low-lit ones become walkable. So, spoilers. Anyway, so let me try something else here. I can lock, like if I lock them on a panel, then that basically means you like have to draw a line between them, but you can fill in the whole area too, so it's not exactly like it has to be a line between them, which is why I kind of thought about another mechanic. I've got a whole like doodle from yesterday that I was I was thinking about this mechanic. So I was also thinking about this idea of, because I have those neighboring mechanics. What the heck? Oh, I guess must have accidentally dragged something on there. I have the neighboring tiles mechanic, where it's like I want this many neighbors to be the same as me or different. And I think that the most interesting thing to have there, if I'm going to do puzzles with that, is to do, let's see, this guy, or really this is what I'm thinking. Is this one that wants two that are the same as it, and two that are different, which basically would enforce for this type of puzzle that it would be lines, right? Because they can only be one thick. So oh, it didn't destroy the dots. That's weird. Oh no, I'm just overlaying it on another panel. That's why it's doing that. So for this, but if I changed this mechanic to where it wants at most 2 instead of exactly 2, because if it wants exactly 2, then it doesn't work the same way, right? If it wants exactly 2, it's like I need to have this and this and this and this, and then that's got to be like that too, right? Whereas if it was at most 2 instead of exactly 2, then you could do stuff like that, and that would be fine, because it's everything inside of that area is only one width, essentially. I think I forgot to say hey to some people in chat. Oh, Justy989. Hello, Justy989. Welcome. Yeah, I guess the neighbors thing is like Minesweeper. There's a lot of tile-based puzzle games, so there's lots of inspiration that you can take from all sorts of different games. And that's with just having square tiles and not thinking about other types of tiles. You know, obviously, like Tetris is a tile-based puzzle game, so I have some Tetris-y type things in here. But I'm thinking that I may with all the neighbor things, because it's just like, the reason I did the 4 is because each tile has like 4 neighbors, and so it seemed like reasonable to look and see what I could do there, right? So like I can make a puzzle that's like that, but I just think it's not the most, I don't know. It's kind of confusing to have a bunch of things that have a bunch of different variations on the symbol. Like, it's better to have something that's like this, where I feel like I can probably get a lot out of just the one thing, and then maybe have another symbol that does a different thing, like these guys, where they want to be alone. Although I've thought about whether they're okay with being with other symbols, or if they just don't want to be with X's. I don't know. There's so many like possibilities always with where to take these mechanics that I don't ever know what to do. I also always feel wary about deleting stuff, because it's like I have all of these different variations on that symbol in here, and I can obviously get rid of them in order to replace them. I don't know. I think we'll chart that up. We'll put that on the Trello to think about. Really, these are kind of going to be a rethink of the neighbor symbol puzzles. So I'm going to add that, like, rethink neighbor symbol puzzles. And neighbors could care about diagonals, but like I said, I already have like 5 variants of it, right? Like I've got the 1. Let me clear this. I've got the 1. I've got the 2. I've got the 3. I've got the 4, and I've got the none. So adding like 1, 2, 3, 4 more neighbors, I don't know that it helps. And the problem with the neighbors thing doesn't go away just because I think about diagonals. Like, the issue is that it's not a mechanic that stands super well on its own. I didn't feel like you can have these guys, right, that are isolated, and you can certainly, because it doesn't care about diagonals, you can make panels like this one be solvable, right? Because if it cared about diagonals, then these guys couldn't be the same as it. You'd have to completely surround it. But there's also always overlap, right? Because if, for example, I chose this guy instead, like now he does basically the same thing as if I had one of these guys here, right? Um, even though all he wants to do is be isolated from other symbols, right? Like, he doesn't actually care about the neighbors. So you can, like, literally do the same thing, the same type of panel, but with this mechanic. And so a lot of times there's overlap, right? So if I make a whole panel that's nothing but these guys that want to be isolated from all other symbols, then, like, that's totally doable. You just have to do this to isolate them all. So I don't know. I'm gonna focus on these dot panels for now. I think I copied that and pasted that. Okay, I did. So let's pull this guy up here and try something different. Anyway, it's just me trying to figure out what the heck I'm doing as far as extra puzzle mechanics for the game. Let's see, so dots. It's kind of interesting if I do something like this, and then I lock all the tiles. Like, then I have to separate it like that. If I lock like this and this on, I guess I can do the easiest thing is that at that point. And so that leads me to the other thing that I thought about, is maybe, like, these guys want to be connected to one that's the same color as it, because then I could have this guy be like red and this one be green, and so then green needs to be connected to red, because that gives me more capability for doing puzzles where I force that kind of thing. Because otherwise, like, if I just did, see that, and then let's say there was another one in here, like there or something, you know, because then I could make something that, like, needed to be like that, right? So that might be interesting, to just make it to where they have to be connected to one that's the same color. That's not a terrible idea. Because that was sort of my thought, was making panels that worked like that, where, because, like, if I can just do this, then it's not really that interesting, right? But it is kind of interesting if, like, I know that this guy and this guy have to be connected, right? But then there's always a question of whether I can do that anyway. Because I can do it, like, I can do that. So I can also do that. So I don't know. I'm gonna take a break real quick. Looks like the FTL soundtrack is over. I guess so. Oh, we'll try that again. I don't know if that's Paul Simon. I have no idea. I'm thinking the colors thing is really the best way to go about this. That just seems like the best way to do it. Is like colors have to be connected to like colors. So that should be fairly easy to actually implement. It means that I lose out on this at the moment. The whole. I'm gonna hold on. I'm going to save that guy. But I lose out on the ability to have this guy connect to like one of those, right? Which is kind of cool, but I could also do that based on color. I can't have a red dice face, but I can have a black dot, and so black could be able to connect with black, right? So anyway, we'll try that. Really the way I do that is I just need to have, when I make the overlay, it needs to be, instead of just case 60, we're gonna go case, I guess I'd do greater than equal to 60 and less than equal to 70. I don't know if I can do that in a switch. Does anybody know if I can do that in a switch? Yeah, that would be the idea. Is like you can only connect dots, like two dots of the same color, right? I mean, maybe you can connect multiple dots the same color, but I don't know. Like, that's my initial thinking, is that, like, if there's a red dot here and a red dot here, you connect those red dots. And they need to be connected, but they can't be connected to dots of other colors. They have to only be connected to the same color dots. But I like the idea of only two as well. Just because I don't know, it's more interesting. It's more interesting than having like a bunch of dots like this, and then you can just be like that. Like, it's more interesting to have them separate, I feel like, than just all red dots need to be in the same area. Even though I could do that. I don't know. Like, there's nothing limiting me on doing it any particular way. It's just let's see. I got about half an hour more I can stream. At least it seems like it's streaming okay today. It's not like dropping a lot of stuff. Okay, so it evaluates an expression in the switch, basically. So I can't just like if it. a bridge between the connected tile. I don't think I need to add a bridge. I think it's fine. I'll try that. I'll try case 60 dot 70 or dot 70. I don't know if that works. Doesn't look like it does. It's just going to take me to the same thing. It's fine. I'll just do this. It'll be easier. Just go if, what was it? Solution int. Greater than 60 and solution int is less than 70. That's basically what I was thinking. It's just I can just put them in there, and then but yeah, I don't think that works. Hold on. So I can do them in there, and then I can just basically do the color as like a lookup into a color table. So it would be like I don't know, symbol colors. So then I'll do like, for that we'll do solution int minus 60 basically, and that'll look it up there. And then we want obviously to have the colors, which would be color 10 colors basically. So I think that would go kind of up here. Bullet color 10, symbol colors. I don't know what that's gonna do, but we'll see. Alright, see if we go now. Unexpected symbol 10. Okay, so I guess I do this for the color. Seems like, though, I should be able to. Can I not? It's new color. Can I do that? I don't know how that works. Is it like this? Like, how do I forget how I set it up? I've got some arrays down here that I knew. So how does that work? New. Okay, so yeah, it is new color. It should be new color 10. Where are those colors, though? Symbol colors. It should be like 10. That way I can have like gray, and I can have like red, and it would work like that. Like that should work at that point. Seems like it's not working though, which is weird. Unless they might be transparent as well. Yeah, they are. Anyway, so yeah, so then I'd have like grays, and then I could set like this to be 61, and it would be red. So that was kind of what I was thinking. That's weird. I must be doing something where I'm just checking to see if it's like equal to 60, and then if it's not, doing this. No, if I'm doing if it's more than 60. Okay, so I need to do this. Target symbol count is equal to 1. If test solution value is equal to 70, then the target symbol count is 0. For each, right now I was doing if it's equal to, if it's not 0, but instead we're going to do if it's equal to, well, if it's not equal to, well, yeah. I basically need to do if it's equal to test solution value, then symbol count equals 1, else if it's not equal to that, basically, if it's equal to like yeah, if it's not equal to 0 and it's that, then that's basically how it would work. So theoretically that should work. So these can't connect, but these can. Okay, so that seems to work. So then if I wanted to do this, then that's got to be connected to that. What are these null references coming from? So then I do like 61 there, 61 there, and I could do like 62 there, and add another color. Yeah. That's maybe interesting. I don't know. So I need to make these colors be a thing, basically. Is there a way to, like, initialize this here? Let's see. Initialize array C#. New color. Okay, so I do like this. New color. And then I can initialize them like this, it seems like. Or just be like color dot gray, color dot red, color dot blue, blue, color dot green, color dot yellow, color dot purple. I don't know what all the color primitives they give me are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably enough colors. Does not contain purple. So purple was a little bit too far off the reservation. Looks like they've got black, clear, cyan, gray, green. Okay, magenta is one they have. Magenta, gray, green, red, red, white, yellow, blue, cyan. Probably enough colors. The other ones are not really, I don't know, without me sitting around coming up with a million colors. So this should have colors. It doesn't though, which is weird. Why is this not set to an instance of an object? It's not set to an instance of an object. Seems to work, but it feels like symbol colors is just not getting actually initialized properly, which is weird. When it totally should be getting initialized. Let me go down here and try letting it look up the colors.
just minusing at 60 should give me 0 index into that array if the thing's 60. Okay, so it does. It works. So that doesn't work because I can still do that. But what I could do for this one is to do this. So then I would have to do that. Kind of works. It's kind of interesting. I don't know whether they should care about the color. Feels like not. I don't know. These feel very prescriptive. They're kind of interesting, but they just feel really prescriptive. Excuse me. Change that load save file stuff to where it doesn't spit out a million things for the console. I also need like them to not be white, because the problem is when they're white, if I solve it, then they look like that, right? But black would be fine, because like having black and white ones means that then I can have one that's like can connect with that, right?
this to where that's like that. So then I have to solve that way because I can't combine all those. So these want to be with ones the same color. Maybe I can make it to where X's, rather than just being wanting to be alone, they don't want to be with X's that are the same color. So they want to be with like a different color. I don't know. About that. That's kind of interesting. Anywho, I have to go to the jobby, the day job now, unfortunately. So it's been fun designing some puzzles. And thanks for hanging out with me while I did it, because it's always enjoyable to have some people to talk to about what's going on. We didn't get a lot done, but I only worked for like an hour and a half, so, and some of that was dealing with like the stream being weird. So I hope whatever you're doing that I will see you around on the internet and you're having a good time when I see you. So see ya.